Have you ever done ayahuasca or gone to a weekend retreat and then you have to integrate after with all of the things that have come up? Because this is how it feels. He's happier than I feel right now, to be honest. I spent all weekend at an event slash retreat slash workshop. I went on Saturday. They invited me to come back on Sunday. And Sunday was all about releasing your limiting beliefs. And you probably think that meant, oh, it was a workshop where we talk about what our limiting beliefs are and then we journal and that's it. But it wasn't. It was extremely organic. The healer, you know, was able to do a lot of unspoken energy work. He can feel parts of your body and help energetically release it. And in order to do that, he walked us through a bunch of different exercises, team building things, um, random games. And honestly, I felt a lot of resistance. I pride myself in being this super open person who just divulges all of the information about me. And it made me realize that maybe I do that because if I give away all of what seems like deep information, then nobody's going to pry for more. Maybe I want somebody to pry for more. That shit's uncomfortable at the same time. I'm used to leading workshops, holding space for others. And part of being a leader and being strong all the time might be a protection or coping mechanism for me because it's easier to be vulnerable, make other people feel comfortable, and then let them work through their shit while I sit there and help facilitate it and get to walk away feeling excited and empowered that I helped others. And I always think I'm addicted to self-help, but it's like until you go to something like this, you can't even really always identify where your blockers are or where your limits are or where your edge is. What makes you feel comfortable? What makes you not feel comfortable? What does intimacy even mean? Because I don't generally feel like I have a problem with intimacy. And then there's people at this retreat crying, screaming, releasing, and then dancing and moving to feel free after. And the fact that it kind of seemed a little like sexual to me made me uncomfortable. And it's like, why does that make me uncomfortable? What is that bringing up for me? I think a big thing that I'm noticing also is I'm an extremely sensitive person. If you keep watching this podcast, I'm sure I will cry many times. I'm sure just listening to everything I have to say, you're like, okay, this girl's brain is going all over the place. So I there's a lot of thoughts, and we go into the depths regularly in here. But every time I cry or have an emotion, I've grown up in a household that says, why is she crying? Why is she sad? What's going on? Oh my God. Which is fair. I get it. I'm a lot. And I own that and I'm happy with it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying, oh, I'm a lot. I shouldn't be. No, it's fine. I take up a lot of space. But yeah, I mean, after 30 years of my family definitely accepting who I am, but still not really knowing how to just allow that to happen because they're not super emotional and they don't cry every time they physically feel their emotions the way I do has allowed me to love my emotions and understand that it's different than most people or a lot of people. But it also makes me feel like I need to suppress that. Told you I was going to cry. I always feel like I have to be contributing. I always have to be working hard. Always have to be driving things forward. And if I'm not doing that, I'm not going to be successful. I'm not going to hit my goals. I'm not going to get to where I want to be in life. I'm going to end up like all other people I see around who aren't where I would like to be when I'm their age or throughout my life. There's so much to that, right? There's comparison, which I literally have a tattoo about not comparing yourself to anybody else and focusing on your own shit, but easier said than done. It's just like always having to be strong, always having to put on a mask, hiding behind my strength. And it's confusing because I feel like I'm so vulnerable. And I let my emotions out on my sleeve. And yet there's so many more that I'm masking. Maybe I wonder if that's, can I handle that? Can others handle that? I don't know. I also feel like I'm very sensitive to other people's emotions. So I like try to protect myself by removing myself and isolating myself so I'm not distracted, so I'm not taking on other things, so I can identify like what's mine, what's theirs. I worry that other people's influences are a distraction and not getting me to where I'm going, which means that I'm reliant on other people to get me where I'm going. And I never want to be reliant on anybody because I'm independent. But then at the same time, like, we need community. We're not meant to do this life alone. And yes, it's about finding aligned community, but that's hard too. And then when you do find aligned community, they're all mirrors of you and they show you your adequacies and inadequacies. And it's a lot to process. Being constantly focused on growth and being better is a beautiful thing. And I think it makes me who I am, and I wouldn't change it at all. But it's heavy. And sometimes I'm like, oh, I front loaded all the hard work so that I can release it and move forward. But guess what? The second I release something, it's probably going to come back in some new cycle even deeper. And I'm going to have to work through it even deeper. And yes, I have developed the tools to get me through it. And I'm like, oh, I've made it through before. That doesn't mean it doesn't hurt every single time and that it's not uncomfortable and that doesn't take work. You know, it's okay that life isn't going to be a walk in the park. And embracing the ups and downs. Yesterday, we were talking about a circle in the group. There was a pillow and it was a circle, and we were all, naming things that came to mind. And I said, when I see this circle, I think of this cycle of life. A circle is connected. And if it were going this way and you're going up and your energy's peaking and you feel amazing, oh my God. Well, guess what? It's going to go back down, and you have to go back down to get back up. So when you're down here, you're thinking of it as like, okay, this is my recalibration, reset. I'm building the energy to hike back to the top. Then naturally, you got to come back down and you keep going in that cycle. So in this moment, I'm down here. But in an hour, I could be up here. Or maybe I'm going to stay down here for this whole last week. And then next week I'll be at the top. I guess it's just riding the ebbs and flows. Just always on my surfboard, baby. You know? Just riding the fucking wave. But I guess it makes me a better person in the long run. I think another thing that was really coming up for me, which I kind of hinted on with the whole like always trying to be strong and mask my emotions and take actions when I'm stressed to get rid of the stress instead of maybe feeling the stress and accepting it. I don't know. I also think there's like a fine line between meditating things away or spiritual bypassing and then taking action to actually resolve your issues. So, like, I'm never going to stop taking action. It's about finding a balance. Life is literally all about balance. But a big thing that was coming up for me that I found really interesting was that, like, everybody was relating over this fear of being seen. And I was sitting there and I was like, I actually can't relate to that. I'm like, very often one of the louder people, if not the loudest person in the room. I come in, I introduce myself, I make sure everybody knows who I am. I like to make the jokes. I like to be, the bright, happy person who makes everybody else feel comfortable. It doesn't always mean I'm comfortable. I've gotten to the point where in social settings, I'm surrounded by people who I actually am comfortable with and enjoy. But for like 28 years of my life, I was always in social scenarios fitting in and never felt like I did. It's never surrounded by the people who like made me feel truly deeply seen and heard. But I have a lot of friends now who make me feel that way. However, point being, all these people were struggling with the fear of being seen and they'd rather be in the background. And my fear is not being seen at all, being completely invisible. I used to feel like if I didn't wear heels to the bar, nobody would see me and I wouldn't get to like hang out with my friends or talk to anybody or meet anybody new because I'm short and everybody would just look over my head. I used to be in finance and in tech. And as a girl, I think people see me and instantly think, oh, she's a cute little blonde dumb girl. Oh, she does marketing, whatever. And it's ironic because I do actually do marketing now. And it's awesome. And you have to be really smart and creative and whatnot to be in marketing. Marketing's awesome. But I used to be like, I'm in finance, I'm in tech, I'm not in marketing. Don't dumb me down like that. It's because I always I feel like once I start speaking, people understand that I'm intelligent and that I have a lot to offer. But just by looking at me, people assume the opposite. And, you gotta let people think what they want. Use it to your advantage. Oh, you think I'm dumb? Okay, let me let you think whatever you want. I'll prove you otherwise. But it's like, why do I have to prove anything to anybody? I don't. A lot of it comes back to money. I want financial freedom. And I understand that money is energy, and I put so much energy into everything that sometimes I feel like I should be the richest motherfucker on earth. Because I work really hard and I deserve it. But they also, but life's not as simple as working really hard and getting everything that you deserve. It's more nuanced, it's more layered. And I'm not saying that that can't happen because it's going to happen for me. I'm going to figure out a way. But I'm also going to learn to balance and to relax and not try to force things because ultimately I think that everything I'm saying and everything I'm learning just goes to show how much pressure I put on myself, how much pressure I put on my results, how much pressure I put on showing up, on things working out. And that control's not helping anybody. It's holding me back. It's causing me pain. And like, I truly believe that I've already picked my path. My soul chose why I'm here, what lessons to learn, how it's all going to play out. I'm sure we have free will, but whether you take a windy path or the straight path, like, I think that we all still align with the path that we've chosen. So it's like, why do I hang on to how everything's going to play out so much? Why don't I trust that if I work so hard, I will get everything back times 10 and I will be the richest motherfucker in the world? Just kidding. I don't need to be the richest in the world. I just love money because I love freedom and financial freedom, and this idea that the money I have can be put back into circulation to make positive impact on me, my loved ones, my future family, and the world, the economy, to be used for good. So mark my words, people, I will be a billionaire. Because got a billion little bits of energy. And if money is energy, then my bank account better get ready. Anyways, I do need to get to work. This was an impromptu little session. My head's just spinning, and I meditated for like an hour in the sauna this morning, and it just kind of drudged up a lot of this shit. So I needed to get it out. And maybe you guys can resonate to bits and pieces of this. And maybe not, and that's okay too. I just think that it's important that we're all talking about stuff, being vulnerable, reflecting on where we're at, where we can be better, and ultimately, like, giving ourselves some grace. You know, like, we all have shit that we need to work through, but it doesn't make us a good or a bad person or successful or not successful. It literally just makes us human. And yeah, we're all worthy and deserving of success and happiness and freedom and love. No matter how we show up in the world, no matter how we try to understand reality, shift reality, it's all about balance and embracing the positives and negatives, or the dark and the light, or the light and the shadow, or whatever you want to call it, the polarity within each and every one of us, and being a human and being mirrors for each other and supporting other people as they navigate their journeys, whether you can relate to it or not. So, those are my thoughts for today. Post retreat integration. Shit hits hard, that's for sure. But time to put on my AI hat and get back to work, building flows, managing clients, changing the world ultimately in my own way, helping entrepreneurs simplify their operations so that they can focus on their magic. That's what my day's about today. And I'm going to go do that now. Yeah, thanks for listening. Love all of you. Have an amazing day. And accept every part of yourself. Because, yeah, that's it. Peace.